Now again we will be with this very concept of differentiation. Let's have a function. Let y is equal to 2x plus 3. This equation first. We have to proceed in the same way. First step is giving small increments on both sides. Now we know what are the increments. That is y plus delta y equals to, it will be 2 of, the increment is to x, not 2, not 3, 2 of, as 2 is multiplied to x gets changed to x plus delta x. Simple, my dear. Wherever there is x, you have to use x plus delta x. If that has a cube, then you have to place cube. If that has a square, you have to place, if that is multiplied by 2 minus 3 minus 100, you have to multiply it with that, plus the 3 remains. That is going to solve it a bit. It's 2x plus 2 delta x plus 3, it is y plus delta y. Is it so? Now as we have to find out the change in delta y, so delta y now equals to, it's 2x plus 2 delta x plus 3 minus y. Now y from equation first, as usual, it is equals to delta y equals to 2x plus 2 delta x plus 3 minus of 2x minus of 3, as y is 2x plus 3, no, but that is going to be multiplied by minus, so it becomes minus. This way term is going to cancel with this plus 3 and minus 3, they will leave out. So delta y equals to 2 delta x. After it, you have to divide it by delta x. Dividing both sides by delta x, what will you get? It will be delta y by del x equals to 2 delta x by delta x. Delta x leaves. It is simply delta y by delta x equals to, as increments are very small, as increments are very small, so take limits. So take limits on both sides. It will be del y by del x, limit of delta x tends to 0 equals to limit of delta x tends to 0 and 2. But this way term is written as dy by dx. dy by dx dy by dx equals to, simply here it will be only 2. So therefore d by d dy by dx of y, instead of y we are having a function 2x plus 3 equal to simply 2. This is the differentiation of the function. We can have another question here. Let's take y equals to x square. X square plus 2, we will take it out. So the first step is this. Now I will not write this giving small increments. It is like this, giving small increments on both sides. So I will put it simply, but you have to write it down. Put it y plus delta y equals to, instead of x where we have to write x plus delta x, then there is a square. Sometimes the student put it like this, x square plus delta x square. No, you can't put it like that. You have to use, instead of x, you have to use x plus delta x. Then if it is having a cube on it, or fourth power, fifth power, square or something else, you have to place it here, plus 2. Let's going to solve it a bit. It is a plus b ka whole square, that's a square plus b square plus 2ab. And here again the students make a wrong writing. They do what? They do multiply, then they write it here to delta x square. No, x is a separate term. Delta x is a separate. You can't multiply x and delta x. You can't write it 2 delta x square. No, it is x, and delta x, it's totally different. Plus you will write the 2 itself here. Now we have to calculate delta y. So delta y equals to, it will be again x square plus delta x ka whole square plus 2x delta x plus 2 and minus y. So proceeding, it will be x square plus delta x ka whole square plus 2x delta x plus 2 minus x square minus 2. This x square minus 2 plus 2 and this x square, they will leave. So we will, what we get, delta y equals to 2x delta x, and plus we are having delta x square. Now the same step, dividing both sides by delta x. Once you will divide, this very term will become as del y by delta x equals to 2x delta x plus delta x square by whole delta x. Now this delta x is going to cut here and this is going to cut here. It will become as del y by del x equals to 2x plus delta x. It will be like this. Now again, as since increments are very small, so take limits on both sides. You have to write it down. Here you have to write dividing both sides by delta x. Here as you write, increments are very small, so taking limits on both, I will put it like this: limit of delta x tending to 0, it is del y by del x is equal to limit of delta x tends to 0, it is 2x plus delta x. Now as the limit here, it is in addition, so we will put it like this: limit of, if from this very side, you will simply put dy by dx equals to, instead of this you will put it 2x, and wherever there is delta x, just place it 0. It is simply 0, that is simply 2x. Therefore d by dx of y, what is instead of y? First it will be like this, is equal to 2x, this, or you will simply say it will be d by dx of y. Why we are having x square plus 2, that comes out to be 2x. This is the derivative of x square plus 2 function, or this is the differentiation of x square plus 2. Thank you a lot. Tomorrow will be with number of so many numericals related to differentiation. Till then, Allah Hafiz.